My name is Jessica Roberts. I am the Executive Director for the Cherry Growers of America. Today, I would like to explain to you our proposal for an outreach campaign. Before starting, I want to give you a brief history of cherries and what has been done up to this point to promote cherries to the public. Cherries are hailed as superfruit. They have been grown through the ages, being recorded as far back as Roman times. The sweet fruit has a blossoming tree, one that is almost synonymous with our country's capital, Washington, D.C. While many might consider apples and apple pie all American, there are stories of cherries from our nation's founding. While fictitious, the story of George Washington chopping his father's cherry tree represents the principles of honesty and freedom our nation was founded upon. Today, America is the largest exporter of cherries and the second highest producer worldwide. Washington State produces the most sweet cherries for export, while the majority of tart cherries are grown in Michigan. There are two types of cherries, sweet and tart, with many varieties of each. Most cherries consumed are sweet, though tart are excellent for cooking. Both sweet and tart cherries have similar nutrition and benefits and can thus be discussed synonymously. Currently, there are two main websites for cherries. One is put together by growers of sweet cherries, the other by growers of tart cherries. Neither are perfect, and neither are particularly engaging. One website does contain a white paper about cherries written by a registered dietitian, which provides valuable information. No other outreach efforts are currently underway for cherries. Multiple studies have been done about the health benefit of cherries, along with press releases for important findings. Each study has found positive benefits associated with cherry consumption. Benefits include decreased inflammation, decreased cancer risk, and decreased cardiac risk. The strongest correlation has been found between cherry consumption and decreased gout attacks. Gout is a painful condition that affects 6 to 8 million Americans. It is an inflammatory arthritis caused when a compound known as uric acid deposits in joints, such as your big toe, and crystallizes. Some medications and lifestyle changes have shown to be helpful. However, it is still a goal of researchers to determine how to decrease or eliminate gout attacks. Because of their anti-inflammatory properties and ability to decrease uric acid in the body, researchers continue to examine what benefits cherries have on gout. One pivotal study found a strong correlation between cherry intake and gout. Those with gout were asked multiple questions at 4 different times over a year. Researchers then looked at how different answers to these questions affected the number of gout attacks. When people ate a half cup of cherries, or one handful, the occurrence of gout attacks was 35% less. When people took a medicine called allopurinol, the occurrence of gout attacks was 75% lower. Because of this strong correlation, as well as other studies which found cherries beneficial, our target will be gout sufferers. Because gout is most common in men over 30, we chose to gear some of our high-cost advertising to reach these men. We also felt this group would best be reached with material at about a 6th grade reading level. Most of these men are busy with work and family responsibilities, so information needed to be direct and concise. We wanted to create a main message to give continuity, strength, and repetition to our program. The main message of our outreach campaign focused on a handful of cherries, and the impact a handful of cherries can have on gout. All material will include the new cherry logo. Our material will also be based on a red color scheme with green accents. This was chosen to help remind the public of the rich color of cherries. We plan to have a 3-pronged approach with our outreach campaign. We will have an advertising campaign, a packet for doctors, and a consumer education campaign for the public. Some of the materials will be used across all 3 approaches, while others will be unique to just one. With this 3-pronged approach, we will be able to have the most success focusing on a unified message. We plan to start this outreach program next May, right before the beginning of cherry season. First, we will look at the advertising campaign. The advertising campaign will contain a public service radio announcement, a TV commercial, a full-page magazine ad, and a point-of-sales card. Listen while we play the text of the public service announcement. Gout. You know the feeling. The intense pain in your joints, the aching that continues for days to weeks, the swelling and limited motion you experience. One way to help is to watch what you eat and to include the right foods. While some fruits can cause gout to get worse, cherries can help reduce the amount of uric acid in your body as well as prevent the number of gout attacks. Cherries contain phenolic compounds and antioxidants such as vitamin C that may help protect against gout. These big juicy cherries can become part of the answer to your problem. With only 63 calories in a handful, cherries are a healthy snack and a refreshing addition to your health plan. This message sponsored by the Cherry Growers of America. We will likely use one of our celebrity sponsors to be the voice of this announcement, which leads us to our next advertisement, the TV commercial. For the TV commercial, we will have a short commercial which will include 3 celebrity sponsors: David Wells, former baseball player, Jim Belushi, comedian and actor, and Dick Cheney, former vice president. They will each talk about their experience with gout, as well as our central message that a handful of cherries can help prevent gout attacks. We will play this commercial on 3 channels, ESPN, ABC, and NBC. Each will play the commercial 3 times per week during a prime television hour. These channels were chosen to focus on our key audience of men who are older than 30 years old, who are most likely to be affected by gout. These commercials will run for 6 weeks, from the middle of May through the first week of July, which is the beginning to middle of cherry season. The full-page magazine ad will be placed in 4 magazines: Sports Illustrated, The Economist, Forbes, and Scientific America. These 4 magazines were chosen to reach the widest number of our key audience by focusing on 4 different top magazines. We plan to take out a full-page ad in the national edition of each of these magazines for the month of May, June, and July of 2016. The final aspect of the advertising campaign will be a point-of-sales card that will be displayed alongside the fresh cherries sold in Kroger-branded stores as well as Safeway grocery stores across the nation. These 2 chains already promote healthy eating and are very open to accepting such point-of-sales material. The card will include a recipe using cherries on one side and facts about cherries on the other. Next, we are going to look at the packet that will be provided to the doctors. Doctors can sign up to receive information for their practices and clients by providing their contact information to certain servers on the internet. Using these servers, we will send an email with information to all those who have a listed email address. This email will include a doctor letter, a PDF cookbook that can be printed out in their office, a consumer brochure, 2 informatics, and a business card with my contact information. This will provide them with ample material, as well as the opportunity to request additional materials be sent to their office. The doctor letter is shown here. This gives them an overview of some of the information about gout and cherries, as well as our contact information in the corner. This will serve as a cover sheet, as well as provide our initial contact with these professionals. The cookbook and consumer brochure will be PDFs that can be printed in black and white or color at their office. The doctors can also order printed versions of these materials to where they do not need to print them off themselves. The business card will be inserted into the contact email. It provides my name, email, and our website information. If printed materials are requested, a business card will be included in each package. There are 2 informatics. One is about gout and cherries, and the other is specifically about the benefits of cherries. One benefit of using informatics is they are visually appealing. With their wide use across the internet, many people have become accustomed to this type of communication compared with other formats that this information could have been presented in. Because of the visual benefits, we chose to go with these rather than traditional handouts or brochures. The third and final aspect of our outreach program will be consumer education. The main format of this consumer education will be based on a website. The website is currently handfulofcherries.weebly.com, but when funding is granted, a .org or .edu address will be able to be purchased, and the Weebly hosting name will not be included in the site name, giving our website credibility and a professional name. As you may have noticed, all materials up to this point directed people to this website. To give you an idea of how the website will flow, let's look at the website. The home page of the website and heading on the pages features the handful of cherries. This reinforces our key message of the handful of cherries. This first page gives a brief description of gout and introduces our website. As you can see across the top, there are 3 additional links that can be chosen: About Gout, About Cherries, and Additional Resources. These tabs allow for easy navigation. Additional green buttons, such as the one here that says About Gout, will also direct you to websites and other resources. Let's look at the About Gout tab. This tab gives basic information about gout, as well as a nice visual picture. Clicking on this link takes you to the informatic about gout and how cherries affects gout. This is currently the beta version, and when the website is made public for our campaign next year, it would be a PDF link rather than this third-party website. This informatics provides basic information about gout. As we scroll down, the bottom shows visually the impact of eating cherries can have, with the dark representing those who eat cherries. Returning to our website, this page has 3 sections: risk factors, stages of gout, and managing gout. They each have very basic information for easy understanding. There is also a link that pulls up the consumer brochure that was also sent to the doctors. This allows for easy access to the public and allows them to have a downloadable version, as seen here. When speaking of including cherries in your diet, we provide a link taking you to the next section of the website, About Cherries. This page focuses on the benefits of cherries. There is a link here for the informatics about cherries. Once again, we focused on basic information, yet this also allowed us to provide important information about cherries. This is also a beta version and would be a PDF by the time our project launches. Returning once again to the website, we can see 3 sections about cherries: cherries and gout, cherries and health, and cherry nutrition. Cherries and gout provides information as well as a link to the main study about cherries and gout. This allows them to read the text in full from the website itself, if they are interested. Cherries and Health talks about some of the known benefits of cherries. There is also a link to a PDF version of the cookbook. While this is not as visually appealing as the printed version sent to doctors, it is easy to use and simple while containing the same recipes. As you can see, when you click on a section or a recipe, it navigates you to that section or recipe. The cherry nutrition provides the nutrition for a half cup of sweet cherries based on the USDA food database. At the bottom of this page, there is a link for the white paper as well as a press release. As mentioned previously, these have both been published already. Rather than redoing these, we decided to focus our efforts elsewhere while still providing these materials for those interested. The final tab on the website is Additional Resources. This provides links to websites about gout, as well as the 2 main websites that currently exist for cherries. This allows those seeking additional information basic access to other free information available. Between the advertising, doctor packet, and consumer education, we hope we can reach a wide audience, as well as allow those seeking our materials to have multiple exposures to the information. Between now and launch date, these materials will be improved, and additional, more in-depth material will also be created to help with this outreach effort. While many may ask about a social media outreach, we felt that this population, males who are generally over 30, would be better reached through other avenues and decided not to include social media efforts at this time.